So today's video, it's very clear from the title. Yesterday I ate only the lowest price supermarket food. Now there were kind of a few reasons why I wanted to do this. I'd seen a lot of people do it before, and I don't know why there's this thing around like value food. For the most part, you wouldn't even know that it's value food. Granted, there are a few things that you would 100% know were value food, but for the most part, they don't taste any different. When I was younger, my mum was a stay-at-home mum and my dad was a newly qualified teacher. So we literally had no money. So that was the reality for us, value food. My mum worked so hard to get delicious, nutritious meals on our table. And I don't look back and think, oh,
what a terrible childhood I had value meals.
Like, I think it was great and I really enjoyed the food I had, and I wanted to do this video to show you that you don't have to have all the money in the world to make some yummy food. Like, quick little disclaimer, I didn't actually make the healthiest, most nutritious meals in this video, but I was thinking of doing 5 days of meals for £5 and actually trying to make like really balanced, nutritious meals, because today I wanted to just try loads of the everyday value things. So there was a lot of sugary things, there was a lot of cake and crisps and things like that, but I just wanted to test as much as I could. I made this video so that you can see that value food really isn't that bad, and if you can save a few pennies, then you might as well give it a go. And so I wanted to test the foods to see what were the best foods to have and what were foods that maybe you should avoid in the value aisle. Maybe you should spend an extra 20p on something a bit more tasty. The last reason I wanted to do it is because I feel like us millennials and Generation Z, there are always things in the newspaper about how we
can't save money
and how we're always spending money on
Avocado toast
and our iced coffees. I wanted to be like, you know what, not all Generation Z and millennials, whatever I even am, are like that. I am happy to save my pennies. So I just wanted to kind of show you that you can save your pennies, and if this is the reality for you, I'm sure if you got 4 different pastas and line them up, you probably wouldn't even tell. Like I found out yesterday, the pasta tasted exactly the same. So I went to Tesco this morning and was thoroughly disappointed. I'll include the clip now. Actually couldn't find anything that was everyday value. I don't know if I'm like mugging it off, but they have this new brand of things. It's called like Neville's and Mrs. Molly and things like that. So I don't know if that means it's the equivalent to everyday value, but literally nowhere had everyday value in Tesco's. So I'm gonna go to Sainsburys and see if they have anything. So basically they didn't have any of their Tesco value range. I feel like most supermarkets have tried to rebrand their value range and they've called it other things, because I was confused. I couldn't work out which was the value thing, which shows that it's kind of working, that everyone no longer thinks of the value thing as the value thing. So I went to Sainsburys and it was still a bit of a struggle. I did find the most of the basics things. The thing that shocked me the most was that vegetables can be considered basics, green beans, but it's just odd what they consider basic. Like there was only the cauliflower, the green beans, a few things I couldn't find basic versions of, so I just got the cheapest, such as the soya milk. This one was the cheapest, it was 35p, and the crisps as well, which really shocked me. They were the cheapest crisps I could find. There was no other things. So what we've got, it came to £7.95 for all of this. We've got some little snacks for later. I'm going to go through that all later. But for breakfast, we're going to have some soya milk and some cornflakes. This was the only Sainsbury's basic version of cereal they had. There was no other basics, and I'm not a big cornflake lover. It's breakfast time. I feel like I used to see this video all the time, and evidently things in the basics value section of life has changed. This is really full up. I feel like normally it's not this full up. That is really full to the brim. This box of cornflakes was only 55p, which is great. In our family, my mum has certain things that she just won't buy, basic. But most things she'll just buy whatever's on offer. So if the basics one is the cheapest, she will. The only thing she refuses to buy from basics is sausages and bread. I've never had this soy milk and I've never had this cornflakes. So let's give her a go. I thought I wasn't gonna like it because it's not sweet, but it's almost enjoyable because it kind of tastes a bit savoury. It tastes a bit like potato. I quite like this. That is not bad at all. I really thought I would hate this, but I actually prefer it to normal cornflakes. So I finished the bowl of cornflakes and it wasn't even bad. I would never normally pick cornflakes, so I'm quite glad. I enjoyed that, and it was only 55p, and the milk. But obviously that's 55p for like however many portions there are in here, like 10,000. It's a bit weird that they only have one cereal option. You know what? No fancy packaging, still a great breakfast. Can confirm. So I've come to a bigger Tesco's now and I'm hoping I can find some everyday value. Or maybe I should Google it on my way into the store. Okay, success. We are back from Tesco's, and as I was walking in, I was doing my research, and I actually found out that Tesco everyday value for most things stopped back in 2018, and I just don't look at like labels for things, so I never picked up on that because I don't care if it's value or not. But I did notice that this brand, Miss Molly's, Stockwell, this brand right here, and there's another one as well, that started coming in, and I just thought it was like another cheaper option, but I believe that is Tesco's alternative. So I'll show you what I got. We got all these bits, massive thing of like butter basically, which is dairy free. So what I'm finding is because I'm dairy free, it's actually quite hard to find alternatives for things, and I went to the free from section. There was actually nothing in like everyday valueness in the free from, which is crazy. It's vegan and it was like £1, and normally my little like my butter about half the size of this is about £2 that I use. This cake, which also is dairy free, it's not vegan but it's dairy free, so I'm interested to try this. I was going to make my own cake, but they actually didn't have any cheap alternatives to sugar. It's weird because they only had the Tate and Lyle stuff, and then I got some cashews because I wanted to see if they taste any different. Can't imagine they do. And some sweeties. It's lunchtime and I just opened up the beans. To be honest, we never actually have proper beans. We always just get the not Heinz ones because they're so much more expensive, and I know some people are so funny, although these look a different colour. And we've got our bread here. I've never seen a piece of bread this thin. It's like a cracker. It's so small. You need about 10 of these pieces. We've got all the goods. That looks weird. Okay, we're gonna try this soft spread. Looks very soft, very interesting. Oh, this is crunchy toast. This toast reminds me of what I used to get at Breakfast Club. This is like the exact same toast. I feel like this meal is the least different to what I would normally eat for lunch. Guys, now I understand why my mum doesn't normally get that bread. Not nice. Do you hear the way it's cutting? It cuts like styrofoam. It'd be cheaper to make your own if you just got flour, salt, water, yeast. It takes 42p to make a standard white loaf of bread. This is with just like everyday value flour, salt, water and yeast. And you don't even need yeast, so you could actually cut that price down even more. So you know what? If you can stretch the extra 7p, I highly recommend you make your own because it tastes way better and is more nutritionally beneficial for you. I don't like that bread. That bread is just a vessel for the beans. It's not actually doing anything. It's not adding to this meal, it's just a vessel to carry the beans. The beans, however, I feel like these beans are sweeter than normal. I feel like normal beans are quite salty, but these are like sweet. Finished. Now, that just tasted like a normal lunch. I am a little bit disappointed about the bread. I feel like having these crisps is a cheat because they're not actually everyday value. I had a look in Tesco's and they didn't have any. I don't know if supermarkets are just stopping making their own. Like they had ones like this, but they're not proper like everyday value. Granted, it is the cheapest in the store, but just a bit disappointed. So I'm gonna have some cake. Smells normally like cake. Obviously, wouldn't normally go for a fruit cake. Would normally go for something chocolatey. But this was the only cake that was dairy free. So I was like, let's try it out. It's just very soft. It feels a bit like a Madeira cake. I feel like it's gonna be okay. So. Actually quite nice. Quite like it. I mean, it's a bit dry. That's the thing with these things, they're all a bit dry. It's actually quite nice. It's so sweet. It tastes a bit like a golden syrup cake, but actually, I think I would get that again. So far, the only thing I haven't really liked was the bread from lunchtime. Going well so far. I just am still in shock about the whole rebranding of the everyday value thing. So I'm getting Jessie to try some of the cake.
A bit claggy.
Yeah, claggy in the mouth. You need some water or a cup of tea or something.
Yeah, a few more raisins chucked in. Not bad.
Yeah.
I rate it.
Might try one of these now. Mrs. Molly's midget gems. They were 25p.
And then one that tastes like soap.
No, that's Parma Violet.
Small one. Like
Why it smell like wine gums and gelatin. Okay, ready?
you can go for a red one.
I like clear.
What flavour is clear? Pineapple? Coconut?
I'm gonna try a red one because maybe it's because they were clear. Oh, my red's alright. Oh, I don't like it for some reason. I think that's just my preference.
Quite chewy.
Although now the flavour's in my mouth, I'm like, actually, that is kind of alright.
Come back to it.
Yeah, I think we'd like them, Dad and Chloe, because they do taste like wine gums.
In a bowl, in the lounge.
Yeah, when you're just watching telly and you're like, I just need something.
Where is the sweet bowl?
And then just like pop, pop, pop.
That'd be cool.
So I'm gonna be making some chocolate chocolate cornflake cakes for pudding for dinner tonight. So I've got the cornflakes obviously from earlier, and I'm gonna be using, so we're gonna melt this, add it to the cornflakes. Try some. Right. It just tastes a bit like baking chocolate. For me, I'm not really fussy with chocolate as long as I like it, and I like it. It's a bit grainy, obviously not the highest quality, but once it's got some cornflakes on there, it's gonna be 10 out of 10. Hi, it's time for afternoon snack. I'm gonna have some rich tea biscuits. I have no idea if these are gonna taste any different. We don't normally get the branded biscuits in our house. We just get like, oh, the one thing we do get branded, because my dad's really fussy, is Jaffa cakes. He says that you have to get proper Jaffa cakes. You know when people are just really set in their ways about certain biscuits? That's my dad. To be fair, very thin. Why are all these value things so thin? Oh, you know what? Tastes exactly the same. It's a bit crispier, but other than that, I'll be here. Peeps, it is dinner time. This is the pasta sauce. We always make ours from scratch with like onion and pepper, and I'm still gonna add onion and pepper, but obviously they don't come in a packet, so don't know if it even counts because they're just unpackaged ones. And then I've got my green beans, which are basic. And then I'm gonna have, for my one, the basics pasta, and we're gonna compare it with their pasta. I'm not even gonna tell Mum that I've used this and see if she notices. Do you reckon she'll notice?
Oh wait.
Theirs is gonna have bacon, but obviously I couldn't find Tesco or Sainsburys value bacon, so I can't put it in mine. I'm gonna add some of this to the sauce so it can like go over more of the pasta, because I want there to be enough, because obviously there's 5 of us eating. I'm choosing between kidney beans and sweet corn, but I think I'm going to add sweet corn. It's kind of a weird pasta concoction, but we always make these. And we will be having this, which is also dairy free. Okay, so I read on the pasta packet, it said best as pasta bakes. So I'm gonna give it its fairest shot, and I'm gonna turn mine into a pasta bakes and make the family's normal. Here we go. Pasta, garlic bread. It's crazy. I don't know if you'll hear me over the...
Oh. She needs to go out.
It doesn't taste any different. Bosh. What do we rate the everyday value, everyone?
It needs a lot of spicing up.
You didn't even notice though.
I did notice, but it's because you put a lot of bits with it.
And that's what I found out is key to the value meals. You've got to add little bits to them. So add some herbs, add some spices, add some whatever have you, and it really amps it up to a whole new realm. So Banks, I reckon you wouldn't like it because you're actually quite a snobby cat. Not be a fan of the everyday value. She's like, I love my kibble. We have got our cornflake cake. Doesn't look that nice, but we're gonna try it. Oh, it's gone a bit melty now though. It's alright. I like it, but Jessie thinks the cornflakes are proper cheapy. Tastes a bit stale, you reckon?
It's got that sticky bit in the teeth.
You think, Mum?
Alright.
Some strawberries to try. Oh, these actually smell really, really good and sweet.
I bet they're good.
Yeah, they smell incredible. Cold on my teeth.
Strawberries taste better.
That's a good question. How can a fruit and vegetable be everyday value? Those green beans were everyday value.
It's because they're not the right shape, so they're so cheaper.
They look the right
And
shape.
not in plastic packaging like we learnt last night.
They are. These are incredible. But these pears, I understand why they are on the value section. They ain't looking so funky fresh. I'm not really in the mood for that right now, but I am, however, in the mood for you. Jessie! You can't have the first one, you know the rule. The buyer always has, they're very skinny and small.
They're always small.
They're so small.
The run to the litter.
I don't think there's any whole ones in there.
Done, roasted, they've all gone through the factory and they're all the debris that fell through the little shaky tray.
I think that's
roasted 5 times over and over again.
They are quite dark actually, yeah.
Have a look.
Are they all the ones that are broken up?
Yeah.
Classic.
Classic.
I remember those in my uni days.
We call that in fishing the offcuts.
Why is everything value skinny? Even
Taste is good though.
Why do you think? Because cheaper things are smaller, there's less of it.
Not always.
In food is. You're going to buy a cake and you've got 2 cakes, one's 500 grams.
that cake is massive. Connie's trying to midget gem. I wish I just caught your face on camera. She was literally like that. I didn't Yeah, what do you think?
They're not hard.
They're chewy.
They're chewy, but they're not hard.
They're hard chewy. All in all, basically the only thing that tasted different was that bread. Ew, I hated that bread. So I'm gonna have these. To be fair, again, I don't mind crisps if they're value. You do though, don't you, Chloe? Someone in the family really doesn't like value crisps. I could not care less as long as it's fried potato and a bit of salt. Like,
I don't think I mind too much. Obviously, I prefer
a Walker's.
Yeah.
Or
but
a
if
hula
it's
hoop.
There.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope that maybe you can go to the supermarket now and get some value items, or if you buy the value items anyway, you need to know that basically they don't taste any different apart from the bread. Maybe make your own bread, because actually it's probably cheaper to make your own bread as well. One thing I did learn is that I think it's very interesting the approach that all the supermarkets have taken now. It seems to be that they're kind of axing the value ranges and trying to make them more inclusive, which I think is great if it means that people aren't aware they're even buying a value range. Like, I didn't know Miss Molly's was even a value range because I just was buying it thinking it tasted exactly the same. Let's have a chat in the comment section below about your favourite value foods, because maybe we can inspire one another. Maybe there's some value food hacks, some things that I need to know about cooking and baking with the value foods, because I've actually had a great time, and if it means I'm going to save money, then I am all for it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Goodbye.